What's the best gift that your dad's ever given you in terms of material?
Material on my 18th birthday, he bought me a platinum masterpiece Rolex,
Okay.
which I would never sell it as it couldn't be valued. It's
And what about in terms of cars or anything?
nothing, nothing.
Some people would say, what's the point of having money if you're not going to spend it?
Well, he does. My dad's had 2 Bugattis and a helicopter, and he's got a yacht in Monaco, but I don't.
But isn't it about sharing it with your family too?
Well, he does. He lets me use those things. I
Okay.
can go to Monaco and I can have a good time with him. I can have a good time in his Bugatti with him, but it's not mine. I don't own it.
He
It's
wants you
his.
to earn it.
Yeah.
And how important is that family structure in terms of, you mentioned your granddad?
hmm
Like,
My
how,
granddad's 80 years old and he still works to this day. He was working on Christmas Day, just gone. The work ethic has been bred through generations. Now, I never really knew my great granddad, but I've heard stories about him also. They work their fingers to the bone, and it's actually, I wouldn't say it's a problem because it's a good thing, but whatever I do, it over occupies my mind and I can't stop thinking about it. Like, for example, I've started a WhatsApp group and a TikTok channel, and I'm always thinking about how I want to make this successful, how I want to make it better. And that's been anything. I only use them two for an example because they're new projects. But it's just I can't sit down. If I'm on a beach somewhere abroad, I'm still thinking about what's happening going on at home. Is there anything I can do on my phone to make that better or make it progress faster? It's just and when people ask me the question about my dad's work ethic, if it's anything like mine, which I believe it is, then that's how it is. It's like some sort of ADHD that you have, but it's an ADHD where you have to do business and make money or make your business better so it's in a better position to make money.
is it fun? Is it hard finding friends for you?
Is it hard finding friends? Well, absolutely not. It's probably very easy to
Yeah.
find friends, but are they the right friends? Are they the people that you want around you? The thing is, good network of people is actually very hard to find, and people that are very educated and very entrepreneurial. So I like to surround myself with people that are very cleverer than me and eager to earn money because we have an awful lot to talk about. And when you're bouncing ideas to entrepreneurs from one to the other, something good's going to come out of it in the end.
And what about some of the friends that you might want to help along your journey and you're trying to bring them up and they're a little bit more negative and they just don't get it?
Well, the thing is, we all have our own opinion, and there's always two types of people in the world: half empty, half full. However, I've read plenty of quotes. I'm sure you have as well. The optimist built the aeroplane or the parachute, and vice versa. Uh, um, the optimist built the parachute, and the pessimist built the aeroplane. Now, I don't know which way
Yeah.
that goes around, but either one of them built either one of them, yeah. And that's why we need both types of people in this world. It's the same in business. Somebody who's eager and who's keen could end up losing their money. But if there was a partnership, a pessimistic person, an optimistic person, that would be the perfect business because you would get again a happy medium of right. Is that good? Should we go all guns blazing? No, hold on a minute. If we go all guns blazing, this could happen. This might not work. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Have you had to leave anybody behind?
Of course, you have to. That it's a shame, and it's sometimes in the world of business and in the world of anything that you want to be successful at, you have to drop people out and you have to cut off loose ends. If it's holding you back, you need to cut them off and push forward because again, like you need to be selfish. And there's plenty of times. And do you know what? When you are becoming more successful and you're doing well, you soon see who your true friends are and who will help. And it actually makes that decision very easy. Like some people stop and go, "Oh, I could never get rid of this friend, or I could never get that friend." Now, there's been times where I was thinking like that about friends that I've cut off and I don't talk to anymore. And not that I don't talk to them anymore. We're just on different paths. I want to do different things.
Mm. And what about in terms of women? How do you find like a woman or a lady who's not just after your money?
Well, that again, that takes a little bit of time. You know, you've got to get to know them. After you've got to know them, then it's down to your own judgment, really, because anybody can put on a good act for however long, and anybody can be fooled.
Mm,
So again, it's not easy, but you know, you've just got to go off of your own gut instinct on in times like that.
mm. Has there ever been a situation you've been in that you've learned from
I'm
this?
sure there's again my entrepreneurial past of being up and down and trading with plenty of people, regardless of whether it been men or women, you get a feel for how people act and what if they have ulterior
Mhm,
motives or what their actual motives are. You can work it out and you can
mhm,
sum it up. So I'd say I do have experience to see if something isn't quite right. Yeah, I do.
mm. Do you think entrepreneurs are born or made?
I think both, both. Like, what how they've first of all they've got to be bored and they've got to make themselves. So both, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
But all of the stuff that you sort of learned from your parents and
Hmm.
homeschooling, in a way, I'm not saying school brainwashes you,
Hmm.
but school is there to get people through society,
Hmm.
getting ready to work
Hmm.
as a worker in these big organization and businesses. But you've seemed to have not gone through that schooling education route. You've learnt off your granddad, who's, you know, someone who's good in business, your dad who's good in business, and you've been around them people, you've learned the art. It's almost like you know body language,
Hmm.
how somebody's energy is,
Hmm.
their aura,
Yeah.
rather than like a robot or someone who's just gone through. I went to school today and I learned about dinosaurs, and it's like, hey, hang on, how's that going to help you?
Mm.
You're like, well, I was in a van today and I went to try flog some of these rolls of tissues and stuff, and they said no to me. How do I make that work next time? Like, do you think there's a difference because you haven't gone through fully through that education route?
Absolutely, because right, the reason it's beneficial to me that I didn't go through that educational route is because I started my businesses or I started in the world of business when I was 16 properly. I had a limited company when I was 16, right, which is
Mm,
still growing, which is Best Park Homes, right, which is my mobile home park company,
okay.
which I have two mobile home parks at the moment, which will soon be a portfolio of five, six, seven. However, like I say, I started my business when I was 16. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but a business isn't supposed to be, or it's not usual. It's unusual for a business to be making a profit within the first 3 years. So if you come out of school and go through college and go to sixth form and you've started your business when you're 21 and it's not making a profit till you're 24, and I started my business when I was 16, it's just I've got 10 years worth of experience, 10 years worth of mistakes that can all help me today. And that's where I think it was beneficial. There's also so much
Hmm.
education that I would have lost out on. But thankfully, how everything's planned out, I didn't even need the education that I've got. All I needed to do was be able to read and be all right with maths. And I'm
Hmm.
actually very good,
Hmm.
right? But all I needed to do was be able to read, which I learned to read and write through social media. And I needed to know how to do maths. That's all you need to do to be a good entrepreneur. Now, you have to learn a lot and you're going to make mistakes and you're going to fail. And in the world of business, failing and not making a success is losing money, which none of us want to do. But with that 10 years worth of experience, it's going to set you up. Right. If you start at 21, 22, right, any expert or superstar in their field, boxers, footballers, golfers, uh, uh, swimmers, runners, when do they start? They don't start when they're 21, 22. So there are people that do start late and do very well. However, most of them, if you got 100, only there'd be five of those. And it's the same in business. And that's what I
Hmm.
try to be. I try to be a professional
Hmm.
entrepreneur. And the thing is about an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur businessman because
Hmm.
I love business and I love making money.
Hmm. But you're a certain type
Hmm.
of businessman, Alfie. Like what we're talking about, that's the trajectory people go on in terms of the starting at 16 or 23. But when I'm getting underneath the
Hmm.
surface now, and like there's so much, in the news and brainwashing. Like at school, if I was called fat, you're called fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like you got called a name.
Mhm.
It's okay. Now it's like your child will come home and go, I got body shamed
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
They said that to me. I'm never gonna go to school again. It's like
Yeah.
little bit of failure and they
Mhm.
don't know how to combat it. It's like society looks like it's getting weaker and weaker.
Mhm.
And it looks like you've got something different in terms of your to become an entrepreneur, you've got to be quite solid underneath the skin. There's a lot of stuff that you take in every single day that you just walk straight through. Whereas other people, one, two stones come and they were like, no, I'm giving up on this business, or they keep saying no to me. Like, what is that difference in you, you think?
Well, I'll be honest with you. This country is it. It doesn't want entrepreneurs. It doesn't want them. There's everything put in place